Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over my Week 3 college football rankings. So, briefly recapping last week's rankings and what those teams did in Week 2. So, last week at number 10, I had Tennessee. They beat Austin Peay by a score of 30-13. 9 was Washington. They rolled past Tulsa, winning 43-10. 8, I had Penn State. They destroyed Delaware 63-7. 7, I had Alabama. They were upset by Texas, losing 34-24. 6, I had Notre Dame. They knocked off NC State, winning 45-24. 5, I had USC. They easily beat Stanford 56-10. 4 was Florida State. They beat Southern Miss 66-13. 3, I had Ohio State. They beat Youngstown State 35-7. 2 was Michigan. They rolled past UNLV 35-7. And 1 was Georgia, who easily beat Ball State 45-3. So this week's rankings, kicking things off at number 10, I have Tennessee. So they're remaining at number 10 after an unconvincing 30-13 win over Austin Peay. Their offense is concerning, scoring only 30 points. But they did run the ball very effectively, running for 228 yards. But passing football, they were solid, but I would expect more from what should be an explosive Tennessee offense. They got the win, which is good, but they need to start faster in games overall. They got off to a very slow start, didn't score a touchdown until 15 seconds to go in the second quarter. Tennessee, still a good team, but even though their win wasn't great, it's still good. They enter number 10. Number 9, I've got Washington. So, they beat Tulsa by a score of 43-10. Michael Penix Jr. is an early Heisman contender, as in 2 games he has 959 yards and 8 touchdowns. Now, there was also some missed opportunities for the Washington offense with a missed field goal, a pick, and stuff like that, but they still put up 43 points, and Washington has one of the best offenses in the country. I'm not concerned about those missed opportunities at all. They ended up destroying Tulsa, and Washington, they check in at number 9. Next up is a trip to Michigan State. 8 is Penn State. They remained at number 8 after they did what was expected and destroyed an FCS team in Delaware by a score of 63-7. Their run game was insane. They ran for 315 yards, 5.3 yards a carry, and 6 rushing touchdowns. 3 of those touchdowns came from Nick Singleton. Their defense was also dominant, as you would expect, against a weaker opponent, and their defense is just good overall. But Penn State, after an easy win, they remained at number 8. Next week, they kick off Big Ten play with a trip to Illinois. 7, we've got Notre Dame. So they're actually being knocked down one spot, but not because I want to penalize Notre Dame at all. I think they had a great win, beating NC State 45-24, but they moved down 1 because that's just a direct result of Texas moving up. But Notre Dame had a great game once again. They showed that they can easily dominate better competition as well, as NC State's a pretty solid team. But in a game that featured a long weather delay, Notre Dame was great. Quarterback Sam Hartman threw for 286 yards and 4 touchdowns. Star running back Audrey Estime had 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Notre Dame was the first team to score more than 30 points against NC State since 2021. And they went way past 30, putting up 45. Notre Dame is an elite team. Now that they have a quarterback in Sam Hartman, they check in at number 7 after a very good win over NC State. 6 is USC. They're another team being knocked down one spot as a result of Texas moving up. But USC was great. They destroyed Stanford, winning 56-10. The offense was great once again. Caleb Williams threw for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns. There's not a whole ton to say about USC. Their offense continues to be insanely good. They check in at number 6. Moving on to the top 5. At number 5, I'm knocking this team down 2 spots. That is Ohio State. So they go from 3 to 5, and even though they won, I'm very concerned about the Ohio State offense. They scored just 35 points against Youngstown State. Yes, Youngstown State, an FCS team. The good thing for the Buckeyes is they were able to get star wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. going, as he had 7 catches for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. The defense was good, but the offense was not as good as we were used to seeing from Ohio State just in the recent years, and it hasn't been great for the first 2 games of the season, scoring just 23 last week against Indiana, and now 35 this week against an FCS opponent. But Ohio State is still a good team, but I'm very concerned about their offense. They need to be more, just better overall, and they've got one more game to figure it out before they visit Notre Dame in Week 4. Coming in at number 4, we've got Texas. So they jump all the way up to number 4 after a really good 34-24 win over Alabama. Texas was just a better team for the entire game. Their offense was great. Quinn Ewers was fantastic, throwing for 349 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the big plays in the pass game were finally there for Texas this week, as Ewers connected with Xavier Worthy for a 44-yard touchdown, and late in the game connected with A.D. Mitchell for a 39-yard touchdown. The Texas defense was also very good, picking off Jalen Milroe twice. A great all-around game from Texas. They jump all the way up to number 4 after a win over Alabama. Coming in at number 3, we've got Florida State. They move up one spot, but that is really just a result of me dropping Ohio State down to number 5. But Florida State took care of business, destroying Southern Miss 66-13. Star running back Trey Benson ran in for 3 touchdowns, And new star wide receiver Keon Coleman found the end zone again, making it 4 touchdowns in 2 games for the Michigan State transfer. But Florida State, a dominant performance, sees them jump up 1 spot to number 3. Number 2 is Michigan. They remain there at 2 after taking care of UNLV, winning 35-7. Michigan was good once again. J.J. McCarthy looked good. 278 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Only 3 incompletions. They also ran the ball very effectively. Blake Corum had 80 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, as Michigan as a team ran for 179 yards and 3 touchdowns. But another good performance for Michigan. They remain at number 2. And number 1, it is no surprise, it is Georgia. They beat Ball State 45-7. They started slow, not getting a single point in the first quarter, but they exploded for 31 points in the second quarter. Now, Georgia hasn't been the greatest team in the world during their first 2 games, but there's no reason to drop them. They remain at number 1. And my updated playoff predictions don't change from the preseason predictions. 1 is Georgia, 2 Michigan, 3 Florida State, and 4 is either Notre Dame or Washington. I honestly cannot pick between those 2 teams because I've got Notre Dame 11-1 and Washington 12-1 Pac-12 champs. But those are my Week 3 college football rankings. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. I do my best to post as often as possible. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my rankings, disagree, and why. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.